Hello, Impact Asylum. My name's Fireguy, and welcome to a Fireguy's Predictions audio column. It's been quite a while since I hopped on the mic here to do one of these for Impact Asylum. So a few quick updates before I hop in to the point of the video, Fireguy's Predictions. I just want to give a few updates. One relating to these audio columns. As you guys can see, I've stopped producing these as often as before. I decided to move Hot Fire to a written format, and I really enjoy writing them over doing an audio podcast about them. So I will be keeping them written for the time being. If I change my mind later on down the road, it might change back to audio, who knows. But these Fireguy prediction videos will stay in audio format. I just find that they're a lot better to do in audio format, and it's weird. It's funny how I don't like doing hot fire in a verbal way, but I like doing Fireguys predictions. But anyways, that's just another update, and another little update for those who've been watching most of my content on Impact Asylum for the last couple of months. When I first started doing hot fires, I talked a bit about a podcast set being built up, and it is officially ready. I have my podcast set done and completed. I am not filming in it or recording this in the set right now. I'm missing literally 2 adapters for my mic and my headset, and everything is set. So hopefully you guys will hear an improvement soon whenever I do my Fireguys predictions, or whenever I hop on to any other podcast around Impact Asylum. So let's hop right into Fireguys predictions, guys. I'm saying that word lots. So what's the big TV pay-per-view coming up next here? It's Genesis 2018. So for those who don't know what Fireguys predictions is, I basically give my predictions on each match, and I run through the story beforehand, and I'll give my thoughts on how the story is going to proceed after this match. So basically it's a bit of before, during, and after, and all my thoughts on the whole situation and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's hop in right away to the card for Impact Wrestling Genesis 2018. So we have quite a few championship matches, but our first match here on the card is an X Division match. We have Taiji Ishimori in his second title defense, defending against Andrew Everett. So this match will be happening in Pro Wrestling Noah territory over in Japan somewhere. I'm not quite sure exactly where, but this is just a Challenger of the Week style format match for Ishimori. So basically the story leading up to this was Ishimori started getting into a feud with Trevor Lee because Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley, the Cult of Lee, thought that Ishimori screwed them out of winning a 6-man match. So they started feuding, kept feuding. Then they eventually came to an X Division championship match. Ishimori got the win, and Ishimori defended against Desmond Xavier the week after, a little rematch from the Super X Cup, and Ishimori is still champion. So he's heading into this Pro Wrestling Noah match on his own territory here against Andrew Everett. It's a shame that they're not going to pull the plug in Everett. This is just the Challenger of the Week, like I said before. So hopefully they give this match time. I hope to God it's not clipped, because this match could be really, really good. It could be like the Desmond Xavier match from last week. So hopefully they don't screw this up. Hopefully it's not clipped. But my prediction here is Ishimori, and what's going to happen afterwards is really up in the air. The X Division is really hard to guess what's going on. Most of the time it's just random title defenses. They've calmed down on the multi-man title defenses and stuff like that, but it's always quite often just random challengers coming up. They might continue the storyline with Trevor Lee, because Trevor Lee does have his rematch clause. That's always been a thing in wrestling, unless Impact forget about it, like they do sometimes. So maybe Trevor Lee gets a title shot later on down the line. Who knows? But there's not much I think that's going to come out of this title bout, per se. Easy prediction, Ishimori. Now on to the next championship match. we have a grand championship match where EC3 will be defending his title against Matt Sydal in a no rounds, no judges, 60-minute time limit match. So, basically the story leading up to this was Matt Sydal defeated Sanjay Dutt in a match. EC3 came out, said, yeah, cool, you win all the small matches, all the exhibition matches, all the matches don't really matter. When it comes to the big matches, you choke. He choked against, he choked when he was going for the title. He choked when he went for the X Division title. Now he's going to choke coming for the Grand Championship. And we saw that happen as weeks progressed. Matt Sydal had a Grand Championship match against EC3. He choked. In the triple threat match against Fireguy and EC3 for the title, he choked the very, very last second. And now Matt Sydal wants to prove that he's not a choker and that is just in fact EC3 hiding behind the rules of the Grand Championship. So this is a bit ironic because a lot of you guys at the Impact Asylum don't enjoy the Grand Championship. I say it's not good right now, but it could be improved. I feel like the rules could be tweaked a bit to make it good, but for now it's not good, and it's kind of ironic that Impact addressing that the rules are a bit messed up and that the wrestlers could hide behind the rules and get away with stuff, and Matt Sydal's finally putting a real normal match for the title down on the card, so that EC3 can't hide behind anything. So my prediction for this match, sadly, I feel like EC3's gonna win. The reason why I say sadly is because they can't just keep pushing the storyline on and on and on. It's already been the second match, and usually 3 times the charm, right? So this would be the logical time to pull the trigger on Matt Sydal and he finally wins the title. You know, the big match. This is the big gimmick match where Matt Sydal's finally gonna win. And I feel like he deserves this win now at this point to give him something to do. But sadly, I don't feel like that's going to be the case. I feel like he's going to keep chasing for that title. And I feel like EC3 might do a little champion's advantage trick and just get a DQ or something where he keeps hiding behind these rules. And Matt Sydal can't get the win. So I don't see EC3 winning in a clean way, but I see EC3 winning regardless. So where this story is going afterwards, this is a bit more obvious than the X Division match. These two are obviously going to keep feuding if Matt Sydal loses, like I predict. So hopefully they don't make it stale. This feud surprisingly has been under the radar quite a bit in Impact, but I've enjoyed it a lot more than the other things that's been happening around in Impact. So it's a good under the radar feud. Hopefully they keep it going and keep it interesting. I don't know how they're gonna make it, how they're gonna be able to do that. But hopefully Matt Sydal can get his hands on the title soon. This is the last show before the Orlando taping start, so who knows what's gonna happen then. So let's move on to the next match here, where we have the Knockouts title on the line here. We have Laurel Van Ness versus Ali. So, this match, how it came to happen, it's basically all the way back at Bound for Glory, the very first show that aired from the Aberdeen Pavilion in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Gail Kim defeated Sienna and Ali for the title, but that was her very, very last match in Impact. She won the title and then vacated it the same week at the following Impact Wrestling episode. So then a huge tournament started. There was 2 triple threat matches. Laurel Van Ness was the winner of one. Rosemary was the winner of the other. Then Laurel Van Ness and Rosemary had a match, and Laurel Van Ness came on top. At the time, I was really, really happy that they pulled the trigger on Laurel Van Ness because I feel like she deserved it, especially with the character that she managed to create within Impact Wrestling, the Crazy Bride lady and whatnot. And after that, the losers of the tournament, that lost in the first round, so Sienna, Madison Rain, Casey Spinelli, Ali, had a fatal 4-way or 4-way match. I'm not going to use I'm using WWE terms here. Yeah. So they had a 4-way match. Allie came up on top, and she became the new #1 contender. I thought that they were going to throw this match right out the window the next week, but they surprised me, and they're actually making a small little story out of this, I guess you could say. Basically, Allie was having an interview with Mackenzie Mitchell, and Laurel Van Ness came in, beat her down, and that's where Allie finally burst out of her shell, really. After a little pep talk with Gail Kim a few weeks prior, telling her you can do it, she finally believed in herself, and it's what kicked her out of her shell, and now she's ready to go kick Laurel Van Ness's ass. So, yet again, this is another match of where I feel like they should pull the trigger on Allie, but I know it's not going to happen. I feel like Allie's at the point now where she deserves a proper reign. Like, I don't count her other reign as her holding the championship in any way, shape, or form. That was not a title reign whatsoever. So, hopefully she can actually get a proper title now. They've been building her up way too long now through the I Can't Wrestle gimmick as an accountant or whatever she was, to personal assistant to Maria Kanellis, and then now moving on to finally breaking out of her shell because of Gail Kim mentoring her. And I feel like now she should take the title from Laurel Van Ness, but I don't see it happening. Impact would probably keep the title on Laurel Van Ness, and Allie's just going to be a challenger of the week basically in this format again. It's just they built a little bit more of a story around it. So my prediction is Laurel Van Ness, sadly. I just don't see it Allie winning, although I feel like she should, if you guys understand that. So moving forward, it's going to be quite interesting who Laurel Van Ness's next challenger going to be. Heading into the Orlando tapings, it can't really be Rosemary because Rosemary and Taya are going to keep doing their feud. It was supposed to happen up here in Ontario, Canada, but Taya couldn't make it because of visa issues, as most of you guys at the Impact Asylum know. So it's going to be really interesting to see who's the next challenger for Laurel Van Ness. They might just keep going with the story of Allie, because she does have a rematch clause if she does lose, right? But it's really interesting to see who the next challenger is going to be, because you would think Rosemary or Taya right away, but those two are probably going to keep doing their first blood feud, or lead up to that first blood match. So there's not many knockouts left that could be legit competitors, I guess you could say. Casey Spinelli is just an enhancement. Madison Rayne was brought in for, as far as I know, only for the Ontario tapings. I think she's with ROH now, Ring of Honor. So there's only really Allie and Sienna left. Then Ava Stories is the jobber, so I'm not even going to mention her. So yeah, they might keep going with the story of Allie and then bring Sienna back in the picture, but then that'd make a heel versus heel storyline unless one turns face. So it'll be quite interesting to see who nabs up the title next and the title hunt for the Knockouts title. So let's move on to the first of two big matches on the Genesis card. The first one is Moose versus Lashley. So this match, they're billing it as the big blow off. Finally, both Moose and Lashley are finally facing off in a match. Finally, this is the big end of it all. Hopefully it's true. As you guys know, I don't read spoilers regarding tapings, so I don't know if the American Top Team storyline does continue into the Orlando tapings that just took place. But hopefully this is the end. Hopefully this is the big blow off. But this is a really tough one to guess what's gonna happen. My gut says Moose, and more than likely is Moose. I'm just overthinking it maybe. But the big problem I have in my mind is that they've been booking Moose as a loser all along. So I'm kind of hoping Moose gets his little comeback, but he lost at Bound for Glory in that steel cage match. He kept getting beat down over and over again as Impact Wrestling episodes progressed. And the reason for why I'm not going over the story again, guys, because it's been trailing on for way too long. If you watch Impact, you guys know what the storyline is. It's not been the best. American Top Team came in, invaded. Lashley quit wrestling, only wants to do MMA. Moose and James Storm trying to protect Impact from the intruders. James Storm got kicked out of Impact because he lost a career versus career match against Dan Lambert. And now Moose is left, the only man left standing in the war against ATT. So that didn't take too long. I summed it up pretty fast. But anyways, back to the prediction. So yeah, Moose has been booked as an idiot, as a loser all along the storyline. And it'd be a bit unrealistic if he won now against Lashley in this match. So they might pull the plug on Lash and make Lashley win. But that wouldn't make much sense in the storyline, because that means ATT would just keep running wild on Impact. So I feel like Moose takes this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Lashley either. So who knows where the storyline's going. My prediction is Moose, but I wouldn't be surprised at the end of the day if Lashley does win this match. I might just be overthinking it, but Moose has been booked too much of an idiot, and I get that the face always loses the smaller matches, and won the big match, he finally wins it. But they've been exaggerating it for way too long now. Moose has lost too many matches, got beat down too many times, that if he wins, it'll be unrealistic. But I feel like Impact would do that anyways, just to finish the feud off. So afterwards, this is a really tough one, because this might be the big end-all match, but Impact has promoted lots of matches in the past, with that title saying this is the end of the feud, this is the end of the storyline, this is the big ending, and it keeps going for another 3 months after. So afterwards, if Moose wins, I feel like ATT is going to leave, and we'll see what happens to Lashley. Or Lashley wins, the feud continues, and maybe they'll have another match later on down the line where it's another career versus career, and maybe that's a way to write Lashley off TV since he has left the company. So who knows what they're going to do. Either way, ATT is going to be leaving either now or at the end of the next taping cycle. Personally, I feel like the storyline's gotten a bit better, so I can support it and handle it a bit more. But at the beginning, it was just an atrocious storyline of American Top Team invading Impact. So now for the main event of the evening, we have a 6 sides of steel for the Impact Global / World Heavyweight, we don't know, Championship, where we have Eli Drake, the champion, defending against Johnny Impact and Alberto El Patron. So this match, how it came to life, was Johnny Impact had a title shot at Victory Road. That's way even before Bound for Glory. Eli Drake won. They had a rematch at Bound for Glory. Alberto El Patron got involved. Eli Drake won. And now it's a 3-way feud. Johnny doesn't like Alberto because Alberto made Eli win at Bound for Glory. Eli doesn't like either man because they're going after his title. And it's just a very confusing mess. But at the end of the day, I kind of like the fact that it's a bit confusing because it makes it realistic. It's hard to explain, but I was talking to it with another one of you guys at Impact Asylum. I was talking with you, and we were talking about how there's no real face or heel in this storyline. Yes, by definition, Eli is a heel, but every person in this feud has done heelish things, face things. They've all done multiple different actions to warrant them being either a face or a heel. So that takes the dynamic of heel versus face out of play, and it makes this match a lot less predictable, I find. So basically, leading up to this, we also had the Detroit match, which was with the loose ropes, the silly string ropes. And now we finally getting the big match here, where with all 3 men and the 6 sides of steel to decide once and for all who's the champion. So my prediction for this, I don't know. I feel like Alberto El Patron and Johnny Impact have been built up too equally for either or to win the match, if you guys understand. I feel like Alberto's been built up to a certain level, and Johnny Impact's been built up to a certain level. And usually in wrestling, there's always one guy that's built up higher than the other, so that either or wins. When they're built up to that equal point, I don't see either or winning. And this feud, I feel like even though it's been dragging on for so long, it's just getting started, I guess, in the Impact creative handbook, I guess you could say. In Impact Creative's mind, it's just getting started. So I feel like Eli Drake will retain here. It'll be interesting to see what stipulation they go for with this match. If you're allowed to escape the cage, if you're allowed pin or submission, whatever they're going for. I feel like they might go with the escape the cage, because then that'd be an easy way to get Eli to get a cheap win again, which I hate. Honestly, Eli needs to get more solid wins under his belt, so he doesn't be called. So Alberto can't call him a paper champ. Like, for real right now, he's a bit of a paper champ because he keeps cheating the victories, although it doesn't have the same meaning. He doesn't feel like a strong champion, you know. So that's basically the rundown of the whole card. But how the storyline is going to continue afterwards for the main event scene, I feel like it's just going to continue between the three guys, unless this is the big blow off match, but I don't see it that way. Maybe the feud will continue between Eli Drake and only Alberto, since Johnny Impact, it's his third time now going for the title. So Johnny Impact might move on to other things, but maybe Alberto will have his singles rematch for the title, although he had a match at WrestlePro. So, like I was saying, that's the whole card for Genesis, guys. We have 5 matches on the card for 2 hours, which is a solid amount. We can maybe throw in a small talk segment if they really wanted to, but I don't see a need. There's no other storyline going on. We might get a bit more of Congo Kong versus Abyss, or Joseph Park and Chandler Park storyline. We might get the fallout of OVE versus LAX, or the continuation if they decide to continue this feud, because they don't have anyone else in the tag team division. So, so rundown of the card. Ishimori will go over Andrew Everett for the X Division Championship at Pro Wrestling Noah. EC3 will defeat Matt Sydal and retain East Grand Championship. Laurel Van Ness will defeat Ali for the Knockouts title to retain. Moose will defeat Lashley, and Eli Drake will defeat Alberto El Patron and Johnny Impact in 6 sides of steel for the Impact Global / World Heavyweight Championship, whatever they may call it at this point. So this is quite interesting to do. It's quite interesting because this is the last show of the Ottawa tapings. So it's really hard to give a prediction. It seems like every taping cycle, the creative goes to a new direction, because pretty much every taping cycle, management or behind the scenes people have changed. So let's see what Don and Scott can do for Impact Wrestling at the next taping cycles in Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. And this is the end of my Fireguys predictions, guys. So thank you for tuning in, guys, and thank you for listening this far. If you have any feedback or any suggestions, please leave them down below. And also, if you haven't checked them out already, go check out my Hot Fire written columns. You'll find them easily on the website. And I'll be seeing you guys in a few days when I do my Hot Fire for Impact Genesis 2018. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. My name's Fireguy, and I'll see you guys a little bit later.